Hi, I'm Erin Ruth Waters.
And I'm Sarah Gonzalez. Welcome back to this week's edition of WTHS News. There were many competitions this week.
Synergy's competition theme this year is set in a futuristic world that is ruled by an evil queen.
This past weekend, Synergy competed in Petal, Mississippi and placed third out of many groups.
Synergy, the crew, and the band spend many hours during school and after school rehearsing choreography, going over music, going over just the theatrical elements of the show. The last several days taking judges' comments and scores, taking that data and going back and seeing what we want to change. There are a few vocal things that we're definitely going to change, even maybe some visual aspects as well. Getting those scores really helps us to refine and fine-tune our show so that it is the best that it can possibly be.
Synergy's next competition will be in Orlando, Florida. We wish them the best of luck.
Last week, Tupelo High School Automotive team competed with pedal cars that each school built themselves.
What's a pedal car?
A pedal car is an automotive made at the school which are designed for competitions.
Well, to start off, we had to make a mold to make the wings on the side, and it took a lot of preparation and idea brainstorming to figure out what we wanted to do and make it creative out of the box.
A lot of preparation work. We had to, a lot of time management because our teacher wasn't here.
As a result from the competition, Tupelo placed fourth.
Did you know I used to play the violin?
Really? Were you good?
Not as good as Marissa.
Yeah, I hear she's a first-year violinist in our THS Orchestra.
Let's check in with her and see how they're preparing for their competition.
Thanks, Erin Ruth and Sarah. I'm Marissa. Orchestra has been preparing for their upcoming concert. Miss Newell has been working really hard with every student in order to be ready for the big night.
We play every day, and then every other day I'll take it home and practice by myself.
Kennedy Gamble can tell us about some of the content of the concert.
We're playing The Spring from the Vivaldi's Four Seasons, and we're also playing English Suite and Allegro.
I wonder what song these students are looking forward to the most.
My favorite song is Allegro just because it showcases all of the different sections' nice abilities.
Probably English Suite because it really shows off like the cello.
The Golden Waves Orchestra concert will be held at the Civic Auditorium at Tupelo Middle School. The program will begin at 6 o'clock p.m. Marissa Michael, WTHS News.
All the rain this past week has had an impact on our school. Our basketball pep rally was canceled and we were dismissed early on Friday.
Lexi has more on the requirements for making executive decisions like these.
Thanks, Erin Ruth and Sarah. Did you know that the process for canceling school or letting out early starts as early as 3:30 a.m.?
We will send out people to travel the roads, make sure they're clear. If there are concerns, we will all meet back, and if it's about 20% of the school population that will be effective, we will cancel school that day.
He also revealed how there's a lot of different factors that play into deciding whether to cancel school or release early.
We're constantly in contact with the crew at WTVA, and they advise us on everything that's happening, projections of weather, and if we feel like, hey, this could be a serious problem, we meet as a group, we let our principals know, and then we get word out, and then that's how we cancel school or have early dismissal.
Figuring out when to cancel school or release early is not the only stressful factor that takes place.
Communication is the biggest problem because there's so many people involved, so many factors involved, and making sure that we get the information out to all appropriate parties.
Events that were canceled would be rescheduled by those in charge, like the Parade of Beauties, which will be rescheduled later in the year. Back to y'all in the studio.
Wow, that weather was really crazy last week.
Let's check in with Paris and Summer to see if this rain will stop anytime soon.
Thanks, Erin Ruth and Sarah. I'm Summer.
And I'm Paris. On this week's forecast, we have highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s with a 30% chance of rain.
And on Saturday and Sunday, we have highs in the 40s and lows in the 30s with a 30% chance of rain.
And on Monday and Tuesday, we have highs in the 40s and lows in the 30s with a 20% chance of rain.
And on Wednesday and Thursday, we also have highs in the 40s and lows in the 30s with a 30% chance of rain.
And today, as you travel to Oxford to support your Lady Wave Fast Pitch team, don't forget to grab your rain jacket on the way out the door.
Back to y'all in the studio.
How about all this rain, Sarah?
I know, I cannot believe that Tupelo has received over 6 inches of rain this past week.
If you look around, it really has been like a flood warning on campus this week.
Hopefully the rain will back off in the coming days.
The flooding around campus has not only affected students, but also student athletes.
We had a chance to catch up with Dr. Moore to see how the fields around campus have been affected from the rain.
Just going to put you indoors a lot instead of outside in the elements and sliding the bases and running the base paths and playing the ground balls and things like that. So you're a little bit behind where you should be. The weather's going to keep you from doing that.
It really stinks how all these games got rained out.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to going. Let's see if Carol, Trent, and Alyssa can tell us about when these games will be rescheduled.
Thanks, Aaron, Ruth, and Sarah. I'm Carol Trent Embler.
And I'm Alyssa Ferguson. Welcome back to this week's Sports Media.
Since most sports were canceled last week because of the rain, thankfully they were back on for this week.
Baseball won against Houston and New Hope on Tuesday and Wednesday.
They play away this weekend in Jackson. Good luck and go Wave.
Many teams this year have gotten new coaches.
That's right, including cheer. Let's check in with Olivia to see how this year's cheer season went.
Thanks, Carol, Trent, and Alyssa. The cheer season has finally come to an end, being named 2018 state champions. Cheerleaders share their best experience from their season.
I really like the family that comes from it. I've met a lot of my best friends through cheer, and I just really think like competing together brings us together, and we won state last year, so that was a big thing for us as a team.
I was able to build relationships with my teammates. Hopefully next year I can be able to have more friendships and stuff. And I was really glad, I was able to meet my teammates.
This year I enjoyed the football games the most, and I'm going to miss it when I leave.
Juniors also explain how they are looking forward to be a senior leader next year.
I'm just really excited to step up and be a leader. This is my 4th year on the squad, and so I just really think getting to be a leader on the team was a big thing for me and my family. We're looking forward to it.
Well, I look forward to take the leadership role. I'm a senior. I have to show everyone that hard work pays off, and that hopefully we can be a better team overall.
Congratulations to the cheer team for winning state this year, and don't forget tryouts are today at 4. I'm Olivia Hastings, WTHS.
This past Tuesday, Sydney Hughes signed with Mississippi College to play soccer.
Congratulations and good luck as you further your soccer career.
Make sure to come out this weekend and support the Wave.
Check in next week to see how the boys and girls basketball teams did in the 3rd round of playoffs. Back to you, Aaron, Ruth, and Sarah.
This year at THS, eSports is available for students to compete in online video games.
Since this is the first year for eSports in Mississippi, there are a lot of kinks to work out, so the games are limited.
Esports gaming is basically competitive video games. Builds team building, just like many of the other sports that we have on campus already. Helps build communication and just reaches out to a different variety of students. For this season, we are strictly limited to Rocket League and League of Legends, but hopeful for some more different variety of games that we'll be playing next season.
If any student wishes to join, you can contact Mr. Holloway in B Building for more information.
Where did you get that bowl?
I got it from the ceramics class. Did you know that they're helping out with the Salvation Army luncheon?
That's really thoughtful. Let's see if Massey can tell us more.
Thanks, Aaron, Ruth, and Sarah. Tupelo High School is participating in the Empty Bowls Luncheon for the first time ever this year. A few students in Ms. Parker's ceramics class are creating these bowls for this special event.
Empty Bowls is a fundraiser for the Salvation Army of Tupelo, and they have a large soup dinner, and they have about, 2,000 community members come in and buy soup, and they get to take home a bowl, and they don't know what the bowl is going to be. It could be McCarty or Gail Pittman, or it could be made by a student here at Tupelo High School.
The students have been working diligently to apply their creative techniques to achieve their goal of submitting 100 bowls.
We put them in molds and let them sit, and then the next day we'll come and take them out of the molds and cut them down to make them look nice and pretty. We have to wait a few days to let them dry, and then we'll put them in the kiln, and then they'll come out hard, and we'll paint them and then put them back in the kiln and then take them out, and they'll be ready to go.
Many students in the ceramics class are excited to see their personal creations be utilized in this year's luncheon.
Empty bowls is really fun because we get to make bowls, and
then we get to decorate them and people get to use them.
The Empty Bowls Luncheon is March the 6th. Be sure to come out and support this great cause and see which bowl you will come home with this year. WTHS News, Massey Eckerd.
Those ceramic students really worked hard on those bowls.
Yeah, just like our students work really hard on our show.
Let's check out their work in this week's edition of Meet the Staff.
What is your role for WTHS?
Well, since it's my first year in WTHS, I mainly help with editing and filming and just whatever needs to be done. I love the process of putting together a show and seeing how it goes from just a couple of ideas to a full thing.
What is your favorite Netflix show?
That 70s Show, 100%.
What is your role in WTHS?
I usually edit and work on the shows, and if I'm not editing, I'll probably be on camera.
What is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you?
Oh gosh. Okay, well, like 2 weeks ago, I fell down the stairs in the junior parking lot after the bell rung at 3:20, so like everybody saw it, so it was just pretty great. And I just kept rolling, and someone had to pick me up.
Hey, shh. Why?
Because this week for Creative, we're playing Silent Library.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Silent Library. Shh. Let's get started. Dang. Okay. Round 2. Oh. Okay. Round 3. Round 4.
Do we need to get paper towel?
This concludes this week's episode of Silent Library.
Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of WTHS News.
Be sure to watch next week to see segments on the Black History Month program, Diamond Girls, and a Blooper Show.
See you next week.